in real life. Oh, and he dies. That would be fun.
You were saying you were feeling especially good today,
I
and
am.
I'm wondering how to milk this moment with your milk flavored things that you've taken.
Dark rum. Dark spiced rum. It's called Kraken. Kraken.
Kraken?
Kraken.
Like
I like
the
saying Kraken because it pisses the literati off. I
I
like
also have an interest
mispronouncing things.
in sharing Sophia Jean's work too while she's here this week. Oh, it is choppy over here.
Mhm.
So I have an interest in having other people who are I met at the Dark Type at the Light Dark Institute event this last weekend. Also, thanks to your recommendation, having some of them meet your work and Sophia Jean's work, and have them come back this weekend, and also just be in this general ecosystem with your dojo work.
Okay. Did you try the Flog of God?
They did not have flog. They did not bring flogs out. It's like the foundational level work.
We were at level 1 and we've had plenty of flogs. We had like 9 or 10 of them. But we were in Boulder, so maybe that's the difference.
Okay.
It's yes, Sophia Jean?
Tons of flogs.
Tons. They were fun. They had a little bunny flog with some bunny fur. Oh, poor little bunny. I would rather just get beat with the bunny. Just grab it by the ears and just beat me with it until it's a bloody mess.
Right.
Oh,
Initial imagery.
hmm.
And this is creating a good mood where
Hmm. I always feel in a good mood when I have lilac colored nails pointed at me.
Well, I'm also interested in Korean. Yeah, so how do we highlight Sophia Jean's work? How can I lean more? Look at that smile.
I'm just here to nap.
What about that?
Can we? I'm one of those guys who like watching attractive women now. That would be good.
Alton and I just came out of another group.
Oh, yeah.
Alton and I just came out of another group that I assembled, and I'm still reeling from it. It was really good in my definition of good. Alton, you did some really nice work on there too. I love seeing you in shape like that.
Thanks. It's a great setup.
And the rest of us in Facebook land, we have actually no idea what the hell they're talking about.
I know. I was
Not
thinking
tasting them.
as we were in the group, I was like, do you think I could explain this? And I didn't I don't know how.
Well, that makes for lousy merchandising, but hold on.
I think people will get whiffs or flavors, and they'll ask if they have taste buds for it. I also know Rian's only got a little bit of time, and he's and Natasha are having like some big conversations and sharing more of this work.
They're in a hotel.
They're at with John last. Well, what? Also, they're at the movie theater.
Oh, I
And
could
she's
do
throwing
that.
game. And I had
Watching a
there was
movie.
Sophia Jean's workshop last night that I'd like also more people to take on. There's a lot of overlap, Cray, with your work too, where I'm like, how do we build this whole ecosystem out?
Be the thing, be the product of her workshop such that people are like, oh my God, he's like that because of what she did. I got to get me some of that. Right now, we have no idea what our workshop's about. We have no idea how it changed. We have no idea what changed in news such that Sophia Jean got exhausted.
You do hide it well then. But now you have a mantra.
She was given a mantra by the holy priestess,
Mhm.
which cannot be revealed because the
No,
mantra
it
would
should be
sound-
revealed.
Oh, it should be revealed, but the holy priestess can't reveal it.
It just works better if he says it.
Yeah. What movie are you guys watching? I don't know why I'm asking this.
Alton, that's your cue.
Norman's everywhere.
Okay, here now.
No, you're not.
Well,
You're cute. You're both really, really cute. Oh, there he is.
I don't know what's
Get it.
been going on. What's been going on in here?
We watched Kneecap to answer the question.
Oh, I have no idea what that is, and that's okay. I thought maybe you were watching some Disney cartoon movie or something.
We were carried in by sparrows, but
Um,
So Cray, what do you do when you want to feel in a light mood? Do you ever want to feel in a light mood at all? Is that ever occurring to you?
A light mood?
Yeah.
I can do light things. I don't know if my light moods are like similar to what you might think is a light mood.
Pretty, like when you could spread your wings and just like don't be dragged down by anything. That's a light mood for me.
Yeah. I don't often feel I don't usually feel the desire to feel up. There's a lot of times where I feel the desire not to feel down, but feeling up is, not usually.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this time to be way more pleasant or more pleasanter.
No, it's
See how
like
that goes.
I could say, Cray, I love you anyway. Even
You could, but
even if you're more
wouldn't-
like down, even if you're more like down here, totally okay.
Your emotional reactions don't mean much to me.
Yeah, it's okay.
I did a thing, Cray.
Is that like you had sex with an alien? I did a thing.
I got a piercing.
Ooh.
Prince Albert?
where?
Oh, that's not a piercing. A piercing. Have you ever seen the guys who get who get suspended from rods?
Yeah.
That's a piercing.
Mm-mm.
That's more like a poking. What's the stone?
It's some ugly, cheap thing that will place.
No, I'm not. No. If you're willing to put ugly and cheap in your ear, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That just.
ugly and cheap in your body.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
but,
care about his body. I care about how
but now-
he reflects.
now there's so much weight to still go up from there.
It's a temporary. In 2 months, I can change it.
2 months? Whatever happened to the ice cube, the potato, stab, and do whatever you want? Jesus. These kids. Were you thinking about danglers?
I'm gonna do a hoop next, and then slowly play with more.
Yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy the different kinds of danglings you can have because they move differently. Yeah.
But you're only gonna do it on one side?
I sleep a lot on this other side, I was realizing like, oh, this would be fucking painful. If I got it pierced here too.
Have you tried what happens when you lie down on the other thing? Does it actually hurt?
I mean, it does even hurt right now if I like
Oh wow. Okay.
touch it too with too much like force.
Norman, are you American?
Yeah.
Are you aware of any sort of like symbolic association with getting one ear left versus right pierced?
What I understand is either ear now doesn't mean as much as it used to.
Gotcha.
Nor
My
the
mom told me-
handkerchief you wear in your back pocket.
Yeah, that used to mean like a big
Oh yeah.
like I am trying to signal like hello.
Yeah.
I don't think you need an earring to signal.
It depends on what I'm wearing. I was offended.
That's what you think.
I was offended on a first date. This guy said, "You look like a cis hetero guy," and I'm like, it was true that I was wearing like
Levi's.
a tank top and like a baseball cap.
Wow, bigotry from the gay. That's amazing. You look like you're cisgendered. What an insult. Oh, I am insulted by that. I am offended.
I mean, I'm attracted to that look too, but he wasn't.
Yeah. No feathers, yeah. Eddie, do you have facial? Have you been heavily Botoxed or is? Okay, there's movement there. Okay. Yeah, he's Northern European. He doesn't have a lot of facial.
A little bit.
Hmm.
Eddie conveys this practice that has been really wild here, and he's had a bunch of sessions here. And I'd like to platform more of his work too.
Geez, could you be more? Why are you so vague?
I don't know how to describe it more than Kundalini activation process, and it's the most.
He makes you sit on vibrating butt plugs?
There's music in the room.
That's fun.
My ears are.
I am curious to learn more specifically about Kundalini. I have been looking or waiting for someone who knows things about it to arrive.
What are you curious about?
Oh no. I
Just
can't escape.
it's the subjective experience of what it is, like the firsthand part of it.
For me, it's been incredible. It's it's shifted a lot of things, emotionally a lot for me, and I don't know. The experience itself is quite wild. Like it's crazy what our bodies can do when we're energetically activated.
Are you familiar with any sort of like threshold of like spiritual development or something people talk about as being like a prerequisite to avoid negative experiences?
Yes, I know Kundalini awakenings, sudden Kundalini awakenings have.
Where's the bottle tray?
Where's the what? The sudden Kundalini awakenings can be pretty detrimental for people. But if done, like there's a lot of things that are put in place for people to be careful so that doesn't happen.
What makes it dangerous if it's sudden?
Yeah.
It's so much energy comes out that people just don't know how to handle it. And so it drives a lot of change. Like the point of awakening the Kundalini or activating Kundalini to begin with is to shift things. And if it explodes very quickly or people are not ready for that level of shift and change.
I
So
think
you want it to be more
having a
gradual.
Kundalini slumbering.
Clearly not very interested in the topic or excited about the topic.
No, not in the slightest. It's like, oh, wow. What happens when you eat peyote? What happens when you drink ayahuasca? What happens when you do toad venom? It's like, yeah, it's and they're going to take Kundalini and they're going to make it spiritual and they're going to make it into some sort of pyramid. And yeah, that's what people do. It's fine. I'm not particularly interested. I'm not particularly driven to go seeking states. I'm more like I wait for the
Unless-
states to drive up and to dance with them.
Unless it is done by flogging.
No, I don't get flogged anymore. I mean, if somebody said they had the flog of God, I would definitely try it again.
Yeah, that's the
But just-
pyramid. It's the top
yeah.
of the pyramid. The
Yeah,
flog
for
of
me,
God.
yeah.
Other people with Kundalini, I think you maybe like built the foundation of the pyramid, and you want to go to the top.
You look particularly delicious today, Yogan.
I feel pretty good. Yeah,
Just pretty good.
the best I've felt in a while. Maybe because I pulled a kind of prank on my brother.
You're upright today.
Oh, please tell us about the prank you pulled on your brother, Jochen.
Well, since you don't want to hear it, why would I talk about it?
Because I asked you to, and you're polite.
Maybe I'm not. That's also fine.
What are you smelling, Norman?
The armpits of God.
That could be kind of cool. I didn't know God had armpits, but there you go.
It's aromatherapy. This one's called At Your Desk. I just woke up from a nap and I'm tired, so.
Butt
Some
plugs work.
olfactory stimulation.
Great. Do you have any like specific practices that you think would be good for becoming more embodied and less heady?
Yeah, practice more things that involve your body and not you analyzing them. Why don't you think about that and get back to me about what you think that might be, and I'll critique it rather than going to the authority figure and asking for answers. Why don't you come up with your own experiments? How do I get back into my body? Are there places in my body that I don't want to go to? Are there types of somatic experiences that I avoid? Of course, because you've been avoiding them since age 6, you might want to ask other people about their embodied experiences. So you can get sort of like an array of that these things are humanly possible.
Like you can have Rian eat you like you're sashimi, and then have Rian eat you as if you were steak.
There you go.
Reminds me of last week's exercises. That was fun.
Oh, okay, let's see.
How does Rian usually eat you? Neither sashimi nor steak.
Tentatively, with a good deal of focus, following the instructions well.
Hmm. I mean, you can eat sashimi very delicately, but be very different than, eating you like celery sticks.
I don't know what that would be like.
Like
You've
if I
never eaten
took your
celery?
hand, Natasha, like if I took your hand right now, give me your hand. Give me your hand. Don't run
Yes?
away. Don't run away.
It has to do with your face, Natasha, not your hand.
Nothing your hand needs to do. It just needs to rest right here. And I'm going to come closer and think about your hand as a piece of sashimi that I'm expecting to melt on my mouth. And that's the feeling when I'm going to touch my lips to your hand.
Mm. Mm. Oh my God.
How could you lick yourself like you're a piece of sashimi? Can you try that? Nobody else has to do this. You're just taking your hand.
Oh my God. No. Why is there a theme with tongues? Me and tongues. God. Okay.
You can be off screen. You can do it off screen. Just move a little bit to the side.
I'll do that.
Look at your
Oh,
own hand. Rian, you might want to watch her and see how she eats sashimi. Maybe you can.
I definitely would want to.
Are both of you on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, are those her legs?
Oh, it's just me.
Yeah.
So then how do you eat steak?
son.
Have you been tasted like sashimi before, Eddie?
Or like steak.
Have
What
I
was
what?
it?
Have you been tasted like sashimi before?
I don't think so.
I hope you give yourself that experience.
I think he like depends on the energies. It goes between each one.
Energy of what?
Steak versus sushimi. Or wait.
I what?
Hmm.
Didn't say anything.
I like that slow swallow, Eddie.
Between the two, definitely sashimi.
You don't have to pick. It's not about picking.
Not doing.
Mm.
Mm.
Natasha
Thinking about
can.
what it would feel like.
Mm-hmm.
It would feel nice.
Just nice.
Just nice.
There's a lot of flavors to nice.
There are a lot of flavors. And I don't know until I've experienced it.
That's why they call it imagination.
I have a pretty crappy imagination. Some of it.
But the physical, Natasha, the physical tasting yourself like sashimi is just so you can get the feel of it. And then how would you eat yourself as steak? How would someone else eat yourself as steak? How could you appear as steak so that someone could eat you like a steak? Not just physically. That they'd see, they're like, that steak right here.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta put my teeth on that. That's steak.
How do you feel like you're showing up Which food are you?
Right now, like the person entering a buffet, and I'm teasing my ingredients.
Okay, okay. I feel like I need like a steak role model to like know how to take a steak shape.
Okay.
Kneecap looked pretty good.
What's that? Oh, I've been
I'm gonna leave it there. See you guys.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, that's a fun idea. I'll try to keep my eyes out for steak people and be like, let's.
All my booze is gone.
How do you let this happen, Craig?
Oh, I got bottles in the back.
Okay. Because I was just like, not a good idea running dry on a Wednesday.
No.
I'm interested in what, when you look at Eddie, comes up for you, is like how you want to, like what you notice around the fit and flow of your dynamic.
No, I'm staying away from Mr. Eddie.
Come.
You're too self-contained, and again, remember, this is just me projecting my ass off. You're too still. For somebody who dances with supposedly with Kundalini, you're really still. So that I'm a little bit like, it's like, it's you know.
My Zoom session can't show the names of the bottom rows. Your name is Ben, you said? Or
Mine? Eddie.
Eddie, sorry. Are you in the Bay Area then?
Mill Valley.
Right on.
And he's run many weeks of workshops, or every other week he'd have a workshop here on this Kundalini activation process, and he'll be doing one tomorrow here as well. So now that you're in town,
Oh, good. They can finish doing the toad venom and the ayahuasca and then go straight into Kundalini awakening. Yeah.
Well, that's happening in an hour or two. So we got plenty of time. Then there's a whole day cycle, and then tomorrow is when.
Are you doing that, Alton?
I'm not personally, no.
Yeah.
Can I know how many people are participating
Tomorrow?
or for the combo? I'm curious. That sounds
There's
like
at least 8 to 10.
wow.
I can hear him stirring in the other room right now. I'm trying to like figure out the volume and how to like.
Is there a lot of deep exhales? It's like, or
I mean, it will be shortly. That's something.
Oh, please let me have it. Let something be done to me so I don't have to do anything.
I have it that I get to like hold more fully onto the things that are really valuable to me when everything is being like flushed through my system, both through CAP or Kundalini activation process or through altered state experiences. They give me like cognitive jitter, and I get to see the things that I've held long familiar in new ways.
You're so trusting of your primal self, your primal character. It's just like you're like, oh, I'm going to follow what it says to do, and that's what got Jeffrey Dahmer in trouble.
I don't know if Jeffrey Dahmer had as much of a board of directors and support group and other people who were.
Great. Now you're saying, oh, I've got a KKK club around me, so let's do what everybody thinks is the right thing to do.
You really go for the for the gut punch every time, Craig.
Well, it's you use the things to you use the things to illustrate it. Like he's sitting in a coven right now and they're doing witchcraft. How odd. If he was with a bunch of holy rollers, they'd be praying to Jesus. How odd. Right now, he's like, let's do toad venom so we can hold on to the things that matter to our primal characters more than the things that don't. Do you think your primal character is going to let you know what the things are?
Do you have a bucket of infant blood somewhere as a prop in your house to like do a little bit of like shamanic noise something?
No, I have rattles. I have Maori rattles in the back that nobody's supposed to touch. There's enough weird shit happening around here.
Do you not trust your base instinct, Cray?
I don't believe in instincts.
What do you believe in?
I believe in choice. We exist in the cause and effect universe. We've been programmed and we can choose to do other. You can choose to input more programs. That's the basics.
What happens if you unwind the programs?
You can't. They're neurologically implanted. You can scoop out brain material. You can do that. There are areas of your brain that you do lose neurons. Something may happen, but that you were buggered when you were 5 years old and you have a fear of men. That will be with you forever. If you're a dry alcoholic, you've been a dry alcoholic for 30 years, haven't taken a drop, and you watch your wife and 2 children burn to death in a car, I would bet that those coping skills are going to be reactivated. They don't go anywhere.
Why isn't that instinct?
God, instinct is in simplistic terms, it's species wide. You can't cross your legs and say, no, I have a headache today. A spider in a certain species will do the same kind of pattern no matter where it is, unless you do weird things to it, like drop acid into its food. Human beings don't have instincts. We make choices based on learned values.
I hear you saying that this is like a lens that you use because it gives you a different life. But I don't think it's meant to be taken literally, is how I heard you also state this.
I was in biology, I was in anthropology. If you actually read biological texts, they would say that when you get down to like the bottom of the Wikipedia article, it's like human beings don't, according to the biologist, we don't have instincts. According to the biologist. Now you can ask Rian what he thinks. Quote him about it.
I know that the biologists think that.
I assume you've read Punksep, right?
I've read what?
Punksep?
I don't know.
I guess not.
Sure.
And again, it's just an orientation, because if you look at your life and you say, oh, all my values are learned, I can learn anything else, I can be anything, I can have any set of values, then there's an immense freedom to that. But if you're like, oh, I was born wanting, earrings or to be shy or then you're like, it's just another form of externalized authority figure. You're looking for the answer from somebody else, somebody who's more powerful than you, somebody who's daddy or mommy.
I think you can simultaneously recognize that at 4 foot tall, you're never going to be an NBA player and still not let that get in your way of enjoying the game.
You can, or you can say, Curry is 5'6", and he's amazing. There's been plenty of short, granted, if you don't have any arms or legs, fine, but it's not programmed into you. The value about wanting to become a basketball player is not genetic.
Agreed.
What I find really fascinating is people have these experiences that they label spiritual. That means that spirituality exists. That it's a real thing, simply because you're interpreting your experience as that. Now, your experience is based in biochemistry. Right? Kundalini arising, whatever you want, you're aware of it. because of the neurons in your body. And so people will take these experiences and, and make them real. It's like I've worked with people who believe that everybody on the planet hated them. No matter how many times I said, you don't know everybody on the planet, how can they all hate you? God is talking to me. Doesn't mean it's real.
You had spiritual experiences, or you?
I have had spiritual experiences of the yin yang.
So it's your interpretation of them for yourself.
There's the same ways that I saw things when I was tripping on acid, man. It's an experience. I interpret it as this. Doesn't mean that that interpretation is externally verifiable. When I look at people who believe this, and I'm most familiar with the Christian God, and I'm like, oh, look, you're externalizing the male patriarchy, adolescent patriarchy is externalizing a daddy figure that makes all of their things that they want to do okay. And I'm like, oh, look, they're telling me how to be a good boy or a good girl, how to get into heaven, how to get love. And I'm like, yeah. I've had oneness. I've seen states. I've seen things that are, would somebody else have seen them when I was there? I don't know. I don't think that dragon would have shown up to anybody else but me, but who knows? Just because you think an experience is spiritual doesn't mean that it is.
What makes something spiritual?
That's up to you. To me, a good cup of coffee and a well-done croissant, that's pretty goddamn spiritual. I don't see the need for spirituality. It exists, it's out there. Cultures like it. Well,
I think it's helpful when people think that there is something bigger than themselves, or believe in something bigger than themselves.
so I play a game called Skyrim. Okay, it's a video game, and in Skyrim, they believe in Sovngarde. And so when somebody's dying on the battlefield, his buddy comes up and he says, we'll meet in Sovngarde and raise a cup of mead. And I'm like, God, that would make me feel good. If I was lying there dying and I really believed that I was going to wake up in Sovngarde and my friend eventually was going to join me and we were going to do whatever they do in Sovngarde, it's very comforting. I've done hospice. I've been around the block. It can be amazingly comforting. So is believing that my mother loved me.
Is it always untrue?
Until proven otherwise.
Suppose it would depend on the meaning you assign to the words, right?
No. If Natasha says, you're really smart, Cray, and Rian says, you're really smart, Cray, I take those two, the same exact words, I take them very differently. And so it's not like, I don't know.
There's a parallel nature to them, right? The pair of them.
Yeah.
Even if they're different in character.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it seems easy to speak to that parallel nature in saying that I do believe that I and you, Cray, will meet in Sovngarde and raise mead together.
That's a wonderful sentiment. That's a wonderful story. It can make me feel good to believe in it. Or I can say, I'm going to be playing the harp. I'm not going to be raising a cup of mead. My God doesn't allow mead, nor genitals.
As long as you have a ring in your ear.
Yeah.
I suppose the point I'm making is that anything can be judged against its capacity to liberate people from suffering, no?
One, you can't be liberated from suffering. That's a personal choice. Nothing can do it for you.
Well, the teaching
No,
catalyzes.
the teaching can point. You still have to decide.
Yes, and we judge things by how well they point, no?
When they're pointing at suffering, what are they pointing at? I'm checking in on your knowledge level. In the Buddhist tradition.
Oh, it's very low in my knowledge level.
Okay, so what is suffering to you, Rian?
Wanting and not having.
Can you have positive suffering?
Positive in what sense?
It feels good. Most
yes.
people have a suffering that they try to avoid.
Sure.
Suffering is thinking that you know better than reality, in my word.
Okay.
So you're saying this should not be happening. It should either be happening this way or something else. But you know better than reality. If you let go of that, and that's something that only you can do, you won't suffer anymore. Pain is not optional. Suffering is.
I count those words as an accurate pointer.
Yes, but so Natasha's not stupid. She hears them, she sees them. She has no way of operationalizing those. No insult intended, Natasha. You're just really young.
But it gives her something to orient around and something to magnetize to when encountering additional links in that chain.
It can, but it's not guaranteed.
Nothing is, yeah, sure. But it tends to. Its capacity to cause to tend toward that.
For intellectuals, yes. For intellectuals, yes. The words can help. Intellectual. Yes. For all of us, that works. There are lots of people out there that the words will mean nothing.
But it's the sentiment of we will die together, meet together in Savantgarde or whatever, that inspires something outside of the intellectual side of things.
It can. It can if it lands right. Yes, I will be rewarded. For my suffering, I will be. It's all out there. Not that you will be, but it makes your life more bearable. It makes your death more bearable.
Is that the only interpretation that you have, that you will be rewarded when you hear that?
No, that's what I'm projecting upon other people.
I see. So
as if they think that playing a harp is going to be a reward.
What's your interpretation?
That it's a psychological tool used to make the downtrodden be accepting of where they're at.
That sounds pretty cynical. Wow.
I do. It's cynical from your point of view.
Yeah, it sounds cynical to me. Yeah, indeed.
Yes, it's really, if you actually read the things, those things are not what the church says. The church is a power structure.
But I think that's the difference between formal religion and true spirituality.
Oh God, there's true and fake spirituality. Oh boy, here we go. And according to Pope Eddie, this is how you can tell if it's a true spiritual experience. Can we pay you to teach us about the true spirituality, Eddie? Why, of course.
I think what I'm pointing to is what you said around the fact that there's a very big difference between what people say in church and what the actual essence of the religion is and Christianity is. And that's what I'm trying to point to. And I think, not saying that I have the answer, it's just there's the power structures.
You suspect. Yes.
There's power structures that, exactly as you say, point people or support people to accept where they are. And then there's the real essence, which, as Ryan or Rian, is it Ryan or Rian? Rian has been pointed to, that can point people to actually support people, letting go of their suffering, or pointing people to make the choice of letting go of their suffering.
Mm-hmm.
At least my interpretation of it.
Yay. Better, Ian. Better. You got more bass notes. You don't seem to be so eager to prove yourself. I hope that rubs off onto Natasha. I wouldn't count on it. Much easier to do with the guys than it is.
See you later. Oh, I thought you said Eddie did. Okay. Boosh.
What do you mean,
So-
base?
I'm curious, Cray,
on.
do you think there's something like an experience of injustice? And if some people have an experience of this is not just, that it is
Not
automatically
just that
suffering?
I'm getting older, god damn it. It's not just at all.
Do you feel that way?
I can,
Do you?
not
Generally speaking?
naturally.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of people who say this shouldn't be this way. That's injustice.
And do you think that's always like paired with suffering?
Huh. I could tell a story that at the furthest reaches of justice, that it's not about fair or not, and there wouldn't be any suffering attached to it at the furthest, things. But the way that people normally think about it, no.
But it's good to know that you think that there is at the furthest edges somewhere where I can think about justice or injustice without necessarily suffering.
Yeah, but justice and injustice are culturally defined. And you're not going to get anywhere.
Have you seen those videos with the monkeys where one monkey gets the grape and the other
I'm
gets
not
the
a monkey.
cucumber? No, but like they know what justice is.
No.
I can send you the link.
Get it.
Justice. You actually think that that is not justified. That is not justice.
They know what unfair treatment is, yeah. They do know that.
That's unfair treatment. It's unfair that Susie gets a bigger ice cream cone than I do. I think that's unfair.
Yeah. And then if you
Do I think it's unjust?
yeah, then you suffer.
Do I think it's unjust? Why do people say unjust rather than unfair?
It's semantics for me. But
No, it's not. It's
You have a
not.
very big difference, I can tell.
Justice appeals to a code. Unfair is personal.
Sure, I codify my feeling of unfairness. Sure.
Yeah, but usually justice applies to them and us. Fairness can be very personal. So people are trying to paint themselves as being justice warrior or whatever you want to call it. Norman, help. Help.
I'm bored out of my mind right now. Like,
Good.
interesting.
Yogan,
But
I
what-
think Yogan, I think that what Cray is trying to say is that the people who speak of like that's not fair, the like criers are viewing it from just to mean I'm not getting what I want. Whereas within a broader context, if they were less self-centered, they would recognize that they were existing justly often.
Norman, do something different. Be the change that you want others to be.
I wish to see.
Ian, I noticed your energy feels so different today.
Because I'm on my belly.
Usually how you show up. Usually there's like this irreverent brooding energy, and today it's like there's like a childlike turning towards and even like forwardness into the camera. It's like so interesting.
More flirting, Norman, come on. Bring it on.
Your hair is longer though, so like,
Well, that's what a haircut will give me, I guess.
your hair looks really different depending.
True.
It looks more like mullet like. And
Not that you would want to care about the opinions of somebody who dresses like a cisgender.
Do I dress like a cisgender?
No, Norman does.
Norman. That's true.
Norman
That's
was-
true. I'm not sure that I would want to care about the opinion of someone who dresses like a cisgender.
Called out by his friends. Jesus.
However, I mean, there are lots of soccer coaches that can't play soccer, so you know.
Norman, very few people actually pour the water into their mouths. Very few people actually do that.
True.
What water?
what does that say?
It's saying that you pour water into your mouth rather than put your lips around the bottle.
I don't
Not that you have any phobias around putting your lips around anything.
No, that I have lots of competency around. It's more like I don't like
Elegance.
the bacteria.
The bacteria of the freshly opened bottle?
The bacteria that is created after you put your mouth on the bottle.
Oh, so you're afraid of the bacteria that come from your own mouth. Ah, okay. That's serious. Wow. Do you have to wash the fork every time that you use it? Do you have to like wipe it off and sterilize it between bites?
No. It's only
No.
water because I have a forgetfulness when it comes to drinking water. I'll have like lots of half drinking water bottles.
But you don't have any like half drinking bottles of beer or Gatorade.
Just water.
Yeah, forgetfulness. Yeah, non-purposeful. Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, great. I got about 5-ish minutes before I'm wrapping.
Oh,
I need
good. Can I wrap too?
My intention was to have more of a deeper dive with you and Eddie specifically, and I've generally also wanted to complete things. So I think that Rena and Natasha had some like juicy threads that they were going to talk about.
You can order me to stay here
And
until 8:15, right?
that's the default, yes.
Okay. Fine. I'll do what you tell me to do. Or you go get kombucha-ized.
Combo?
Combo.
My insides become kombucha? Huh. Well, yeah, there's a world where I complete so soon. I just come right back here. That'd be a novel experience. But if there's any tips or thoughts on how you set intentions or how you design containers for yourself when you're entering altered states.
Me? I try not to enter altered states anymore. I get a little buzz from alcohol. That's all I'll do anymore.
I always just throw myself in.
Yeah, it shows.
Do you have any tips, Tasha?
For containers?
Self-containers when entering altered states.
Don't do it alone.
Yeah, we have a whole house of friends.
Like, try and figure out what you want out of the experience, what you're seeking, or what you want to work on. Because the way, like with psychedelics, feels like it opens your mind or your like somatic, like your body. So set an intention. Try to be in an environment where you feel safe and have the ability to be alone or connected to people that you would feel good, feel supported by. Or explore with.
Yeah. Definitely one way to do it.
Two ways.
Yeah, I think the way that they've always done it in the past has been you're supposed to be doing it individually. And that'd be novel to do one in connection with others. Thanks. Cray, you look so over it.
I used to drop acid and go partying in San Francisco. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Oh, I've never done that that sounds terrifying. How do you even move through the world?
Yeah, going to Mabuhay Gardens. Yeah, that was blasted out of your mind. Yeah, it was quite interesting.
I can't even like barely walk. Okay.
Yep. Different times.
I feel like also courage is like an important piece, like committing to how you might be affected and transformed. Like, 'cause I've done it in many different environments, and that was like a key piece was like deciding to surrender to what happens. I got a lot out of those.
Again, look at her. You're going to take advice from that about how to do psychedelics? Look at how she's showing up. What makes you think that you want to follow her advice? No insult intended, Natasha. You're just young. Asking an 18-year-old about how to raise babies. It's just like, what? She has an opinion. Absolutely.
Well, on that topic, she also has a uterus.
Well, we don't know that. And having a uterus doesn't mean you know squat about raising kids.
Well, that's where the instincts come from that you don't believe
Oh,
in.
God. Jesus help me.
Okay, great. Well, with that, I'm going to leave you guys to this thing. Is there anything else I could set you guys up for? I'm going to
Have a wonderful time.
use hosting.
I'm not going to. I will bet money on that. Unless Norman does.
Is that what you want to set yourself up for? Is that the listing you want to?
I'm just telling you what I'm projecting.
Uh-huh. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Hopefully he fucks something up and we all disappear. Oh, damn. He left his computer.
So, Craig,
Okay.
Crave, the next 40 minutes, if you imagine the next 45 minutes to be fun, what is happening in the next 45 minutes?
Eddie's moving. Norman has come out. You're actually talking about feelings.
Feelings.
Natasha has teeth, wants to use them.
Any particular feelings? What kind of
No,
feelings?
I don't care.
How do you feel right now?
Me? Agitated.
No,
Oh, wrong. Joking. Yeah.
joking. How do you feel? Right now?
Well, sensing into me, I would say I'm still feeling very relaxed, but if I'm going into something earlier from today, I had a call with a friend who told me about one of her friends who visited her dad at home who then died. And I had pretty deep feelings about, and that was anyway, yeah, like
Say it in
this
3 words or less.
it was sadness, gratitude, and joy.
That feels different experiencing you with brevity.
I am speaking of moving, I do need to move and jump for another call. Nice to meet you guys.
Goodbye, oh wondrous one. People will be building things, Yoki. People will be taking steps outside or closer to their borders. They will be talking about things that they're uncomfortable talking about because they refuse to be locked into that. You can't talk about this. There will be some edge work being done.
Yeah, for me, some of the edgiest topics is probably sex in my marriage and the
No,
fantasies,
the lack of
fantasies
sex
that I
in
have.
your marriage.
Yeah, but and the fantasies that I have that are outside of the marriage, and
Yeah, but it's about talking, for me, it's about talking about the things such that you become more of the person you want to be because you're outing them. Not just outing your deep, dark secrets, just to out your deep, dark secrets.
Correct. And so the person that I want to become is clearly someone who has no issue with having a conversation with my husband about these things whenever, not at every moment of the day, but at least much more comfortable than I'm right now.
Good. So how could you practice that here? How could you practice talking with somebody who you think doesn't want to talk about the things that you want to talk about? Oh my God, we're back in hang again. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Do you want to play my husband who doesn't want to talk
No,
about
I
it?
don't want to at all.
That's
And of course we can't have breakout rooms because idiot Alton son. But it's like,
well, I mean, if you know how to do it, you're now the host, so you could open breakout rooms, Cray.
am I? Can I?
Yeah, I just saw Cray's now.
Oh
the
my
host.
God.
So you can end this call. Do you know that?
Oh, I told him I'd stay.
I shouldn't have said that.
Oops, boy, I screwed that up. Okay, there you go. So, I mean,
Norman, do you want to go in a breakout room and be my husband for like I mean, play to be my husband? Sorry, that came across the
so
wrong way.
Jochen, take Norman into a room and let Norman be Norman. And look at those pixels through your prejudicial eyes. And what are the things that you think Norman would feel uncomfortable talking to you about? In the same way that you think your husband doesn't want to talk about sex. Don't ask Norman to be anything other than Norman. That's the practice.
Are you up for that, Norman? Cool. Room 1, please.
Bye, I'll be here.
One room for two, please.
Oh, God, I'm trapped with Rian and Natasha.
Oh, it's just us now.
So it is.
Let's see. I don't know what to bring up or put up here.
The sex that he wants to have with you that you're not having?
Oh,
Oh. That what you want to bring up?
sure, yeah, that would be good. Might work.
What sex do I want to have that we're not having?
Yeah,
Yeah, which sex is that?
I thought it was for you.
Oh, is it for me?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot more dangerous than she doesn't have a very big vocabulary. And remember, you're on a live stream.
What should I be concerned about that?
You don't know your mother might be watching.
Oh, that's okay. She
Her mother might be watching.
eyes in heaven, but no, I guess I just am counting it one of the many sacrifices for this relationship.
Oh gosh, that's so noble of you.
I do try to aspire unto nobility.
Yes, and you think that benefits her how? By you
Long
being
term.
noble? How does that
Long term.
benefit her now?
How does it benefit her now?
Yeah. She doesn't have to deal with your kinkiness?
Well, there's a lot of
Yep.
there's a lot of benefits that she's missing out on. There's only so much time she can enjoy things.
How is she benefiting now from you not revealing what you think she would consider your darker side about your sexuality? How does that benefit her?
Through
In your opinion?
Yeah, of course, the one from which I only ever speak. But
Mhm.
the way it benefits her is that I am using the time that would otherwise be filled with kinky sadistic sex to provide her or seek to train myself to be better equipped to provide her with a sense of safety and such that would allow her to unfold more authentically in the future.
Yes, but if you're not giving her the practice of being unsafe, how can she learn to broaden her conceptions and actualizations of what safety is for her? You're not going to kill her.
Mhm.
You probably, there's a lot of things, safety issues that are not real.
Sure.
She feels them, but unless you put yourself up as something dangerous, she has no way of dealing with that.
Mhm.
If you keep presenting yourself as safe, 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 she doesn't get any practice.
Sure. I mean, I've heard a lot of repeated no's recently.
Yes,
And-
and why are you listening to those?
I don't always.
Oh, okay, good.
Last night, it's also a fear of misjudging what is actually beneficial and actually violating,
Well, you got to learn.
It's true.
She's never gonna get to the point of owning her no and owning her yes and knowing what she wants and what she doesn't want, unless
True.
she has things happens that she doesn't like.
And that's when I guess the genital violence came out, like last night. On the street, no less.
Mhm.
But I could tell that she was holding back, so I could see that she still loved me.
Oh, Jesus God. What her love for you has to do with why she's with you, I don't know.
Well,
You
that makes
think
one
that
buck.
she should base on whether she's with you, whether there's a set of chemicals floating around in her body?
Do I think that she should?
Yeah.
No, I don't. But she
Okay,
argued.
good.
I mean, if that were the case, I would have not stood in the way of her breaking up with me so long.
Why did you stand in the way of her breaking up with you?
Because I don't feel that the impulse which gave rise to breaking up with me is aligned with the stronger, less articulated desires of her.
Well, I'm so glad that you know what her non-articulated desires are. Way to mind read.
Well, you could also interpret it as me just ignoring those, then
Mhm.
breaking up with you. No, you're not. That's kind of how it goes down sometimes.
I would be interested in why you don't want her breaking up with you.
You say you're more interested in why I don't want her breaking up with me?
Yeah, her reasons for breaking up to you, I think, are going to be pretty silly.
Sure. Because the dissolution of this relationship and the ending of its potential to which I've become so attached threatens my view of a beautiful world that I want to inhabit, and that's really scary.
What's the thing that she brings that you don't want her to take away?
Polarity,
Oh, God. Really?
multidimensional. What do you want me to bullet point list out? She's
Okay.
very artistic and emotionally sensitive, and is like incredibly physically and emotionally sensitive. In like walking past jackhammers way is like causing her physical pain, and it is very tuned into things that I'm tuned out of, that I want to be tuned
Not
into.
jackhammers.
No, but you can't become only sensitive to jackhammers and not sensitive to harsh voices.
So what is it that she's bringing to you? I mean, she's sensitive to some things that you're not. Is she actively trying to train you in those?
No, it's more that she is showing the sort of consequences of what it's like to endure my patterns of controlling other people and such, and generating all this coldness that is reactive and coming from her and not about me, that I get to then try to break down and internalize as not about me, so that I can stop trying to control her, so that she feels, so that we're standing next to each other rather than like all Eiffel Towered.
So what is she offering you in lieu of control? That makes it more yummy.
In lieu of my control of her, you mean?
Yeah, you normally operate like I'm going to control you.
Sure.
And now she's saying, well, if you control me, you're not getting any of this.
Self-control.
What?
Self-control.
No, it's about her, not about you. What is she offering you?
The practice to learn self-control.
Yeah, but when you're not trying to control her, what is the yummy?
Um,
Part of you says, you're going to do what I'm saying. And she says, if you pay attention to that, you're not going to get any of this. It could be chocolate chip cookies. I don't know. But
Then I
you're
guess
like,
I'd
I'm going to hold this part in. I'm going to stop this controlling bastard from voicing anything. Because if I do, there are certain things that I want to have that I'm not going to get.
just positive regard in general.
Oh, fuck
association.
off. Jesus Christ. Positive regard. Jesus.
Well, I mean, there's a emotional tenderness and a rich inner world that has a complexity that I don't encounter often, and that it feels really good to like psychically fuck each other in that way.
Okay. That makes better sense. Did
It's
you
all
get a
tied
nap,
together.
Sophia Jean?
Mhm.
Jochen and Norman are in a room.
A map?
What? In a room.
No. Did you, what was there a word about a map for the social?
A nap.
Oh, a nap.
Nap.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Are you falling into some addictive thing, Sophia Jean, to where you're not monitoring your chi levels?
No, I don't think so. Every other
All right.
Wednesday, I have like a bunch of things in a row. So Wednesdays are like a little, Wednesdays are a lot, but not overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still worried about you.
I know. No, I think overall I'm good. It was just I was like right out of the other container that I had
Yep.
right before this. It's a particularly potent one.
Being vague again.
Yeah, I
Okay.
honestly I don't know how to talk about
Mm.
like what happens there. To me it's like the closest version to like like peers consciously helping each other on the spiritual path or something like that.
Good.
And I find it very it warms this heart.
Heart.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned peers. Actually, I was just reflecting this morning after I woke up about how it was interesting to perceive you more as a peer after meeting you. I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I was expecting you to be like, just like, I don't know, like, oh, person, I guess.
Just
Something
levitating
like that.
on a cloud with a halo.
I mean, it's like very clear to me that you are much more skilled as a teacher person than me. And so I just figured that you were like coordinatingly like Buddha, like in other ways also, I guess, perfectly or whatever.
The few ways that I am normal, I like to claim as such. Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
It's nice to be seen as a human.
How nice it would be to be experienced as a human.
One stroke,
Yep. Yep.
left hands.
They don't do any of them see how responsive you are? Do you ever let them see that?
They touch me well or poorly. Only at like the further ends though. Like if they get like if it's like the 15%, it's just like really bad, or if it's really good, but not really in the middle. I guess I could, it feels like work in the middle to like, yeah. That or people think I'm faking, until they see it enough times, they're like, oh, she's actually having that experience. Yeah. If you're far enough away, then you wouldn't dare touch someone or try.
Nice try.
Oh, is one of you gonna try?
No.
Being responsive to, wait,
Let yourself experience someone else's responsiveness through your touch.
hmm,
The responsive person in this case being me.
Just so we're clear about that.
Okay, in that case, then I would answer the question you directed initially to her and say that that's exactly why I reached out, I don't know if I contacted her after the first time we interacted on this call, but it stood out to me. I was just explaining it to someone last night.
Rion, touch
Yes.
her.
Oh, that was Sophia Jean. Mhm.
Okay.
It was nice to meet you in person last night.
Oh my God.
Mhm. I see responsivity. I'm not competent with touch. Sue me.
We can
She's
practice.
incredibly competent with touch.
Your gravity is destabilizing my orbit crane.
That's crap.
Alas. How was it for you two last night?
How was it for Sue last night?
at your workshop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Lots of giggles.
Um, hmm. But like became more aware and like sensitive, like not sensitive to, but like closer to my edges. Was like, oh, wow, no. Okay.
Can we let your laughter speak instead of the thing that you're trying to like overpower your laughter with?
Hmm. What do you mean?
Well, you guys both seem pretty tickled by something. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Fine, keep your secrets. I don't care.
I don't know what I'm laughing at precisely. I'm
Forget I asked.
I'm aware of there's so much juice that to go in certain directions would quickly spiral into so many potential directions that I would lose control of the conversation and my appearance within it.
Oh gosh, that would be terrible.
Wouldn't
You
it
might
though?
have fun.
Oh,
That'd be the worst part.
There are a lot of things that happened last night. I tried to hug you because you're being a bitch. and then you trying to crush my balls.
That seems unmousy.
True. Well,
Nice work.
first she bit me really hard, and then was like aggressively unsympathetic to the unprovoked nature of the offense. Well, unacutely provoked. It was chronically provoked.
Why do you think that's an offense?
Physical violence seems unnecessary to accomplish the same end.
I would hate to see how you fuck them.
As your emotional violence, you're judging her for its form.
Spiritual violence or intellectual violence.
Culturally ingrained, is it not? In
Oh,
you both.
wham, wham.
Well, I was, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
Yeah, but you're not Natasha. Stop treating her like you treat yourself.
Oh, okay. Cut me off at the path. If I could do that, I would stop treating everyone like I treat myself, but I can't do that.
Yes, you could try. You could try checking in with her. You could try checking your assessments at the door and seeing what she thinks about things. Do you know what she thinks about physical violence?
Depends
No.
on the moment. Oh, okay.
Gee,
I guess not.
could you be more vague?
Well, I talk to her about it often, and her opinion changes almost as often.
Yes, imagine that. Not being locked into a definition. Being willing to be in the moment with who you are and what's happening and go with that rather than a list of rules.
Man's got to have principles,
No, he doesn't. He will, but he doesn't have to.
I value the way that I provide faithfulness to people.
I know you do because that's why you do it. Jeffrey Dahmer liked what he was bringing to his people. Some person, pulling on the rope, he likes what he's bringing to the other people. That's what we do as people. Natasha's getting pretty fed up with giving people mouses.
Giving people what?
Giving people mouses.
Sure. I mean, I don't really feel like the interaction where she bit me ended up too badly.
Too badly. Why do you even describe it? It was something that happened. Why do you have to say it was good or bad? Why don't you practice getting up? Go to the other side.
Certain features.
I know, but stop it with the attachments. Go play on the other side of the street. Have physical violence be fun between consenting adults.
Well, I go to the kitchen to make a meal. I engage with Natasha to facilitate a relationship. I don't feel it is egoically attached to act in a continuing accordance with my desires. Put Sophia Jean to sleep.
Yep.
Remaining present with the fact that I am choosing the situation continuously is, I feel, productive for my growth.
Right?
Cool.
You're not talking. I don't hear you saying anything about her.
I've been trying to avoid speaking in that direction as much and remaining focused on me and what I'm getting and want.
Good. She'll leave.
She will?
Yep. If she doesn't get the sense that you're doing things to bring her somewhere that she can't get herself, she will leave you.
Oh, I agree with that.
And if you keep on believing that your assessment of what she's doing and what she's thinking and how she's being is correct, that's not giving her what she's needing right now.
I don't know that there's a second person who accuses me of that.
I don't care.
I'm trying to remain in the belief that it is incorrect and then act in permissively in response.
How do you act in such a way that she's at the edge of leaving you and she doesn't?
Well,
Because
like
of what you're offering her. No,
Sure,
you could nail her feet to the floor.
well, I mean, that is
How
where
do
we
you-
are. So
Okay.
I
You
have
could
not
stop
forgotten what
talking. You could stop talking.
Okay.
And say, Natasha, what do you think about this?
What do you think about this? The this that he meant.
You're going to have to challenge her mouse with the same amount of energy that it was created. Now, if she really is a fine samurai blank sword in there, then it took a lot of energy to turn her into a mouse. So whenever she's acting like a mouse, you have to meet that with the same level of energy, but not be abusive in her eyes.
Been trying.
All right. Good luck.
I feel like last night was
Right.
my reaction. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotta pat myself on the back.
Does he deserve the pat, Natasha?
Hmm?
Does he deserve the pat?
I'm not
That's
sure.
That's a no.
Yeah,
Natasha, say no. Just as a practice. Just say no, he doesn't deserve it.
I don't know if he doesn't.
I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm just saying practice it.
Okay. No pass. No cookie.
How does it feel to say that, Natasha?
But I didn't say it with enough resonant.
I didn't ask whether you said it the way you should be saying it. I said, how did it feel to say it when you said it? Now, that's an example, Rhea. That's meeting her mouseness with force. Not enough to be abusive. Does that make sense?
Does. Sounds like you're kind of pointing or you're kind of orienting around the way that she is putting chains on herself.
She's
and
being a
challenging.
mouse.
Hmm.
So every time that she acts like a mouse, I'm going to have to say something like, knock that off. But if I do that, she's going to shut down. So I have to find ways of saying it to where she can be like, oh, you're right. You didn't ask me what I thought about how I did it. You asked me how I felt when I did it.
Mm. Mm. Sharp. Okay. You don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, a cookie.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
You're gonna have to find a way where she hurts you, not just the biting. That's like a child hurting you. But you want to give her practice in saying things that she thinks is going to hurt you. I don't think that there's much she can say at this stage that is actually going to hurt you. But you got to practice helping her say things that her mouse thinks is hurting you. Which is probably going to be any kind of I want, any kind of opinion, or any kind of speed.
Yeah.
Right now, she's becoming more of an irritant than you are.
More what?
More of an irritant than you are, which is saying quite a bit.
Can't let myself be dethroned.
You could.
Do you think there should be like a certain container for like saying things that would oppose my mousiness to Rian, or should it be like spontaneous and
Be spontaneous until he gets reactive. You have to find out where that edge is. But you want to tell him what you're doing. Because if he's not paying attention and you just come out of the blue and hit him with something and you get lucky and hit him hard, he's not used to being hit hard by waifs. Okay? So if he gets hit hard by you and he's not prepped for it, it should freak him out.
is that what I should try to make happen, or make sure he's prepped before?
No, just say, hey, I'm going to be nasty now. I'm going to be nasty for the next 5 minutes. And he's like, okay, let's go. And then time it. Always try to, if you're doing an exercise, always try to hold a really strict time container. And I encourage you to try it with other people. You're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been fun, guys. Don't forget your phone. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, ID? Jochen, how are you?
I feel gratitude. Thank you, Norman. And thank you, Cray, for the suggestion. It was good.
And Norman, how are you doing? If you had feelings, what would you be feeling?
Cannot
Clark?
compute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm surprised by the tenderness and vulnerability that we both got to experience. What is that face? You look skeptical.
You suspect that he felt that, and you're pretty sure you felt that.
I
I'd
know
be much-
I felt my experience, what I felt on my side. I can't confirm if those are the exact emotions that you felt.
I have a theory that you're more comfortable being a we than you are being an I.
Not as much anymore,
What?
but that used to be a thing.
Ten more minutes.
Okay, we're leaving. Goodbye.
Bye, Rian. Bye, Natasha. You two love each other, right?
Sorry, wrong finger.
I don't. Love arises occasionally.
Once every 5 years.
Well, it's probably enough.
I admire her.
Ooh.
Who die you?
I like her craft. I like the chances she takes. I like her ownership. I like her responsiveness. She's what I call for me, she's a educated witness.
Mm.
She watches what I do, and she doesn't think it's magic. And she admires the techniques. So I feel like I am well witnessed by her.
Techniques are.
At least the response to that was not a middle finger. That's something.
I would never. Unless I had found better.
Is that even possible?
I hope so, but not yet.
Ooh. Ooh.
He hopes so too.
I hope she becomes better.
So how does she do that?
Practice.
Practice. Have you ever become better at something in any other way?
I think practice is really important, but it also matters like to know what specifically to practice. I mean, I play the
How could you
piano.
be practicing then?
Well, there's like playing piano, there's many things I can practice. And if I just practice the things that I'm already pretty good at, I will never be a particularly good player overall because I need to practice the things that I suck at.
Yeah, but the people who want to be good know that.
Just so uncomfortable.
Yeah, see, in my world, that stops you, Jochen.
In some domains it does, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has stopped Norman. But he's beginning to say, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I want to
which
be
is
really
exact-
good at this shit.
Which is exactly what our breakout room was about. And he told me some things where I feel like, hey, that's a way that I can at least practically practice the things around sexuality in my marriage, where I now feel, hey, that's at least a way to feel it's worth going into the discomfort.
You'll get to the point where the discomfort is the reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, yeah.
What could you do with Norman, Sophia?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, plenty.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
say more. I need more exercise.
All right. Room 2?
Uh-oh, he says. All
right, let's go.
I'll wait.
We'll have
Have fun.
to cap
Room
it at
2.
2 minutes so we can wrap up here.
Room 2. I'll wait till you come back.
But I'm pretty sure you already know what my discomfort is around.
No, I
No?
don't care.
Someone,
I think that there is a. I'm betting that there's a discomfort in just the revealing of the mechanics of it. But I think that the bigger discomfort is what it means to you.
Oh, yes, of course, of course.
None, of course.
Uh, I mean, I'm on a, we are still streaming live, right? So like the
Yes, we
process of
are.
revealing is no longer, that's no longer the discomfort itself, including revealing something to my husband. But yeah, like the consequence, the meaning, especially the with regards to judgment, self-judgment, yeah.
Mhm.
And making it final. Once it is revealed, right, the cat is out of the bag and it won't get back in. I mean, it's like it's, you know, it's genie's out of the bottle. Everything that I've only ever thought to myself or told to people who don't really matter
Mhm.
that much, it's just, you know, it's just something, whatever. Which is why I think that's one of the reasons why I'm coming, for instance, to the Wednesday calls here. Um, I very much value your, yeah, the technique, the insights, the incisiveness, without feeling burdened by judgment.
Yeah. You better look out. They're going to start finding out you have a heart.
I I hope so.
No, hope is not going to get you there. Practices will.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, life without heart sounds heartless. Not particularly worth it.
Yeah, but from over here, the amount of heart that you put into your life is pretty bleak.
I can live with you saying that. That's maybe what I mean. That's like it doesn't strike me as a judgment. More like I don't show it to you,
Yeah,
but I think I know people who would probably disagree with your perception,
I
and
hope
that's
so.
okay. Yeah. But out of curiosity, I mean, what would be the signifiers of heart for you?
The first things would be the things that you talk about.
Yeah, what I find difficult is maybe it's the rhythm of the way that you do conversation because I prefer to open up when there's space. I don't interject with the things that reveal when I feel there's just no space at the moment.
Yeah, and for me, that would be an indication that your heart was online. If you were willing to be rude, if you were willing to claim space.
And in moments when I feel an urgency and pressure, I do.
Yep. And I think that you've schooled yourself out of feeling that.
I mean, there are definitely times when I do feel pressure, but I am actually glad that it's not most of the time.
Yeah. I'm really glad that I'm a racist most of the time too. It makes my life really easy. Everybody around me is a racist, and we all are racist about the same things. And it's just much easier to go down those greased paths. I'm going to surround myself with people who are at least equally racist as I am.
I mean, for instance, Cray, I right now my heart is full of something like, yeah, almost like it's not pity or compassion, but something like wanting to connect, but I just don't know how to because like the energy that I'm getting from you is not that kind of. I don't know how to resonate with that.
So, Jochen, shut the fuck up, Cray, and listen to me. shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and just listen to me.
I've thought that a couple times, but
Yeah.
it was more I then think like, and that's maybe the thing, because my understanding of the description of these calls is Alton gets you here for the purpose of
If you
offering
cared
of
enough,
you offering something.
if you cared enough, you'd push the boundaries.
Yes, exactly. If I cared enough.
Yep. And you
Mhm.
tell yourself that you don't. Norman, did she abuse you?
No, I'm sitting in delight and wonder at what the fuck just happened and writing down lots of notes. Like, I'm like, oh my God, what were all the questions she asked me that like fried my brain in the best possible way?
So, Norman,
Yes.
invite her out to dinner or lunch or something. Get her alone when she's not exhausted and dance with her.
Hmm.
I'm here till Tuesday.
What part? Are you in the Bay
I'm
Area?
at Evergreen.
Hmm.
It's
I don't
work.
have much on my
Where will-
calendar the next few days.
Where will you be after? Where will you be returning to? I'm in LA.
I'm in New York.
Okay.
New York / North Carolina.
Easier to get
I
to.
don't come out very often to the West Coast.
Norman,
Tuesday.
4 hours. You just hop a bus, a plane, a train, or something. Then you get an Uber. And you spend 4 hours with her. And you
Hang
say,
out.
be gentle. And you tell everybody else, she is mine. You keep your nose out of this. You take her someplace. You go someplace to where all you can do is swim with her. Highly, highly, highly recommended.
Yeah, you can message me on Facebook.
Okay.
Norman, make yourself that valuable.
I'm gonna do it.
Not many males have tears come up my eyes, Norman, by their beauty, but you do. And I'm not talking about that Clark Kent affect of yours. Your beauty is extraordinary.
I'll message you, Sophia.
Okay. Oh, shit. It's 3 minutes past. Good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.